Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be talking about the Tier 8 French tech tree battleship, the Gascogne. So the Gascogne is the French Tier 8 battleship on the grind towards Republique, and Republique is the Tier 10 French battleship. So I wouldn't really recommend grinding this line because from what I've heard, the Repub is pretty outclassed these days, while the Black Repub, which is the premium version, is still pretty good. The tech tree one is not the best. So if you want to grind this line, I suggest stopping at the Alsace because the Alsace is still pretty good from what I've heard, but the Repub isn't that good. Anyways, today we'll be talking about the Gascogne, which is the Tier 8 here. So, first of all, this ship gets 3 engine nacelle 2s, and you get 2 rapid reload 2s. So, looking at the stats here, the survivability, while it's better than your cruiser because this is a battleship, it's some of the worst at Tier 8 in my opinion from what I've seen. Your armor is worse than most other battleships, and your HP pool isn't the best either. For your maneuverability, I think it's average at best. While you're slightly faster than other battleships, because you have engine nacelle and also you go at like 31 knots, your turning and your propulsion are about average at best. And also your armor, which isn't really displayed here, but your armor values aren't very good because this thing eats full pens and citadels. For your guns, you have 8 380mm guns with a just under 20-second reload. They have okay range and their damage is okay, but the main thing holding these guns back is the dispersion, because since you get 2 quad turrets here, so there's one in the back here and one in the front, the dispersion can be quite wonky sometimes. Sometimes it's like pretty decent, other times it's very questionable, so it's kind of hard to hit like maneuvering stuff in this ship. And also these guns are somewhat underpowered. No, not underpowered, but like they're not the punchiest compared to something like the Bismarck, right? Because the Bismarck has a German AP. These guns sometimes like they get semi-pens and bounces on other battleships, which is kind of bad. And even sometimes on cruisers you bounce, so they're kind of mid, honestly. The secondaries, you get 9 152 mils with a 9-second reload and a 6.5 km range. These are okay. They're fine for like shooting at destroyers, helping you out in the brawl. They're actually pretty decent, also with their fire chance. And your autos, they exist. They help you do extra damage in brawls. That's about it. Sorry about that. And your AA is pretty mid. It's there, I guess. There's some numbers, but you're not going to defend against any strikes. I've been farmed out by a CV before, so yeah. And your detection is just above 10 km, so it's okay. So for my build for this thing, I ran flexible reloading time because this is one of the best elite bonuses in the game, because it just gives you basically a free reload mod with no downsides. And also torpedo defense system is basically useless because it's torpedo damage reduction, which is multiplicative, not additive. So next, let's look at the equipment I have here. I am running main battery mod 3 to try to buff that dispersion a bit, and yeah, that's the main reason I'm running it. You could argue like reload for more DPM, but since you only have 2 guns, I don't really want to get them getting shot off, and since the dispersion is really bad, I want to be able to buff that, so that's why I'm running this. Otherwise, you just run a standard build, run propulsion for better, so you can hopefully dodge some like shells and torpedoes with this. And originally, in these 2 clips I recorded earlier, I was running steering, and also for most of the time I played this thing, I ran steering. But recently, I'll switch over to concealment because I realized this thing's armor is actually like really squishy, so I need like to stay undetected for as long as I can, so I'm not the first one shot at. My commander, standard battleship commander, underwater protection expert, torpedo alert here, artillery maintenance expert, victorious charge. Level 5, you want to make sure you run 5 supremacy because this ship only has 2 rapid reloads, so you really want to get that up to 3. And also, same with if you plan to grind on this entire line, Republic only gets 2 rapid reloads, so you want to be able to buff that to 3 to make the DPM better. Take generalist here because exploit weakness is useless, nothing better, so take fully prepared at tier 7. At tier 8, take adrenaline rush because when you're at lower health, this will give you better DPM, and your secondaries like aren't the worst in the world, so this can help. And also extinguisher is kind of not that good from what I've seen. At tier 9, you could honestly go all 3 options. This is probably the weakest one because your secondaries are not that good, so I don't recommend running close quarters combat expert. You could argue engine overload to help your engine boost be better, but in my opinion, getting demo expert is better because you're a battleship with high caliber shells, so you want to be able to knock out those modules. And also your engine boost is only really useful for like getting around rather than actually help you dodge. Tier 10, it's a no-brainer. You have to take Master Reloader for French ships. Tier 11, you want APCS, and Tier 12, I would assume Horizontal Protection Expert, unless Repo is really good at getting Citadels. And for the green, and I'd just assume running the green tree would be fine for Tier 15. So, oh yeah, the camo. So for the camo, there's two camos here. The historical, which is like standard, good for HP, range, and shell dispersion. Torpedo damage reduction, not really good. And the special one gives large caliber AA range and secondary range, so that's not that good either. Honestly, this ship isn't that good in the first place, so I don't recommend getting the camo. In terms of playstyle for the Gascogne, you have to understand that this is a very squishy battleship, right? So, and your range also isn't that good. So, you have to kind of play this thing like, well, you want to get close to maximize your DPM because these shells really are not that punchy, and you want to be able to use rapid reload at close range, and also maybe your secondaries. But your health and armor really don't help with that, so you initially want to like basically set yourself up in a kiting position, especially if you see like multiple battleships in the flank and if you don't know support. Otherwise, if your team is pushing, then you can take advantage of that, but basically never be the first in line to get shot at. Always make sure there's someone tanking for you, because this thing cannot take damage for very long. And if you're against like another battleship, if you can get them into a 1v1, then you might be able to win depending what battleship it is. So for rapid reload, since I don't have Master Reloader, I usually trigger this like skill pretty early on in the game so I can use all three. But once you get Master Reloader, then I suggest you use these rapid reloads for when like a cruiser gives broadside, or like you're in like close range fights where this reload will make a difference. Otherwise, for the other skill, engine boost, you can just use it to help you get around and move around faster. If you're like sailing full broadside with engine boost, you might be able to throw off another battleship's aim if they don't think you're going that fast, especially if you're running a camo like this one that gives speed. But yeah, basically it's a battleship. Shoot at the enemies and try not to get shot, and if you're getting low, run away. If you can force a fight or get into a 1v1 against like a tier 7 battleship, or like even a tier 8 battleship that's like a sniper, then use that engine boost to get closer and use the rapid reload to like burst them down. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it for the playstyle and build of this thing, and we'll move on to the gameplay now. Okay, so in the first game here, we're in Domination Neighbors up against the Saipan, Ipiranga, Nagato, Auckland, Gorizia, Benson, and Mayhem. And on my team we have Black, GC, NC, Helena, New Orleans, Yukaze, and Nakatsuki. So on Domination Neighbors, you usually see all the light ships spawn at A cap, while all the heavier ships spawn at C cap, and the carriers in the center. So at A cap usually where the cruisers and a destroyer goes, while C cap has a destroyer leading the ships, and the battleships spawn behind them. So at the beginning here, I'm heading towards C cap, and I'm probably gonna speed up the footage here, but basically a Benson comes in and like cap C, but then they run away, and all the other enemy ships also run away. So I'm like just sitting in the corner of the map for like 2.5 minutes not doing anything. But this is also where the engine boost comes into handy, because once I turn around, I can like engine boost out of there, and that helps me get into battle quicker. So now that I'm closer to battle, yeah, there's an Ipiranga, and I'm not sure why I fired AG at our carrier, but yeah. And I fired the Ipiranga, but they turned in slightly, so all my shells just go straight over them. And I think that just kind of shows how questionable the dispersion is, but also my aiming. You stupid. And I just started using rapid reload at this point because I know that 3 minutes have already passed basically, so I want to get as many shells out, and I want to use up all my rapid reloads as I can.
That's pretty good.
So that was actually not a bad salvo on Ipiranga. I hit 6 shells, and I got some full pens and semi pens. And let's see how this next salvo does. Yeah, that was worse, because I got like 2 bounces, like 2 semi pens, and 2 full pens. So the Gascogne shells really cannot go into the belt armor of anything, because it'll probably just bounce, because the penetration is kind of questionable. So Ipiranga is slowing down, so let's see if we can get a better salvo this time. The destroyers over there are like, I'm not concerned about them because they're kind of like running away, so that's good. But up at A cap, our flank kind of collapsed because there's just the one cruiser holding out against like the rest of the enemy team. I think there's like three enemy ships up there, and they're like pretty low. So let's try shooting this Ipiranga again. Right now they're angled, and since this dispersion is not that good, yeah, I'm not gonna do that well against them. I only get like 3 shell hits. So yeah, in general, Gascogne, you kind of want to get like targets that are more like broadside or like not angled, because your dispersion will not help you in those situations. but right now they're like angled, and I'm trying to get to their broadside, so hopefully I hit more shells this time. And looking up at A cap, oh yeah, another 3 shell hits. My aiming's kind of bad in this thing too. Yeah, Helena's about to die, and there's 3 enemy ships in front of me. There's an Auckland, a Gorizia, and a Nagato. And Nagato's basically at full health. So I'm just gonna go bow into them and hope they don't do that much damage to me, while I help my team finish off the Ipiranga so that my team like has the advantage. So I'm gonna use Rapid Reload at this point to help get rid of them, because sorry. One thing Rapid Reload is good for is getting rid of low health enemies, because it can do more shells or more damage, and it can help you burst down the enemies. That salvo was questionable.
What?
Some bounces, some side heads, and a citadel.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Anyways, yeah, try shooting at Yutudanga again. I'm gonna tell you right now, that salvo does not go very well. Yeah, 1 shell, 1 bounce. That's pretty bad. So there's 2 cruisers in front of me, the Auckland and the Gorizia, and they're just full broadside, and the Auckland smokes up. So since they're right here, and I know approximately where they're, I might as well just try blind firing them. Also because I can see their AA. So yeah, let's just see how this goes. Auckland's dead. And yeah, 2 shells and a Gorizia, 2 full friends, not bad. So it's just 1 Gorizia who's like fighting the rest of my team, so I think my team has this handled. So I might as well just go fight the Nagato at this point, because he's like basically alone. I'm at full health, they're at full health. Yeah, might as well go brawl them. So use my engine boost to get closer, and yeah, I'm gonna start brawling. So the Gascogne secondaries aren't actually that bad. They're actually like, I'd say they're like a step below German secondaries, but they're definitely better than like American secondaries. Oh, I was mistaken. We killed somebody else earlier, not the Auckland. I think it was the Akatsu. But yeah, at this point, just gonna brawl the Nagato and yeah, see how it goes. Turn off lock on, do more damage. And a salvo, first salvo, not bad. Seeing full things. Keep in mind this is a tier 7 battleship, so like it's easier to brawl. And also for rapid reload, I'd like timing it at 12 seconds, because that basically gets me time to boost my first salvo, and then the second reload it completely goes through it, and I get to shoot again before it runs out. So basically, right as rapid reload ends, I shoot 1 more salvo, and I feel like that's how you maximize rapid reload. So at this point, I should just see a Gascogne, and they're at low health, so I might as well finish them off before we can do anything else. And if you didn't see there, I lost a gun for a second, and I had to use DCP on it. So that's why I don't recommend taking reload mod, because you only have 2 main guns or batteries, and if you lose one, you lose half your DPM basically. So that's why I recommend not taking reload, so they don't get damaged as easily. Because if they get damaged, you'll probably lose a DCM. And yeah, here's the MVP, because I guess I did some most damage. And yeah, even though I was in the corner for like the first 3 minutes, I somehow ended up as MVP. So the Gascogne, as you can see in that game, I didn't really get targeted a lot, so I was able to just sail around and do my business. But when you do get focused, you have to like start running away and stuff, and you can't be that aggressive. So yeah, 90 secondary hits, that's pretty good. 18k from secondaries, and more from main guns. Okay guys, so in the second game here, we're on Fire's Lantern Domination against Zedin, Turpitz, NC, Sinop, Cleveland, Duca, Dejli, Abruzzi, and Brooklyn. My team, we have DZP, Chungfan, Hipper, West Virginia, Colorado, and another battleship. So this game actually has this 0 destroyers, which is good because it means I have less torpedo threats to worry about and fast, nimble things to damage me, so that's good. And also that means there's more damage, which is always good. So on this map, usually we get B cap for free, the enemies get C cap for free, and then like the people up north fight over A. But since I'm on B cap, I'm just gonna get it for free. I don't need to worry about it. So in destroyers, usually you want to use your engine boost at the beginning of the game, but in something like the Gascogne, I'd argue that it's not the best idea, because while your concealment is like okay, or actually it's like kind of mid actually, even with concealment mod, it's pretty bad. So you definitely don't want to use engine assault to get into your position quicker and get spotted. So I would just save it for repositioning or getting closer to the enemies / further away from the enemies. So since there's no destroyer, I know that I won't be spotted as early as if there was a destroyer this game, so I can play a bit more aggressive than I usually would. And also, since the Gascogne is a French battleship, I usually like playing it like more on the flanks rather than in the center, for 3 reasons. 1, you don't have like cracked range like the American battleships do, so you can't just stay in the center and like snipe. 2, your dispersion isn't good enough for that sniping playstyle. And 3, you don't want to be like sitting in the center because damage will basically be running away from you, right? So, and Gascogne, like, you want to work at closer range because your penetration isn't that good. Yeah, that's number 3. Your main gun pen isn't that good. So my cruisers got B cap covered, so I don't need to get in there. Yeah. And right, I'm surprised that C cap isn't capped yet because usually there should be a cruiser in there by now, but now there is. And at this point I'm slowing down because I'm like, where are the enemies? How am I not spotted yet? So I don't want to be like the first one spotted. Oh, I guess I am. So now I'm spotted, we'll see what happens. So we see a Zine out here on the flank, so I don't want to be caught in a 1v1 brawl with that thing. And a Turbot's over there. So now I know, like, wow, there's 2 Battleships already? Okay, I think it's time to run away. Now there's a 3rd enemy, the Brooklyn here. And this guy's just like pushing in like crazy. And seeing that there's a Zine on the flank, I want to back away from that because I do not want to take a 1v1, or not a 1v1, a 3v1 against a Zine, a Turbot, and a Brooklyn. But the Brooklyn is sailing straight broadside, so that's pretty cool. And now there's a Duca at the back. So yeah, there's 4 enemies here. So I'm backing up and setting myself up to kite away because the Battleship's really squishy. So yeah. And since Cleveland, or not Cleveland, Brooklyn is going full broadside, might as well use a rocket to try to burst them down. So that first salvo, the second one, that's also pretty good. No city does though. And at this point, Brooklyn's like almost dead, so that's cool. So there's actually a Cleveland back there too, so there's 5 enemies over here. So I'm gonna go stir into where the bulk of the enemies are and just shoot at Zidane instead because they're the furthest out there, so I can get all my guns on them without having to show the rest of my ship to the end, where the 4 enemies are. So now there's like 5 enemies pushing down this lane, so I think it's time to run away. I use my engine cell to get a bit further away. And yeah, I think I'll just fight Zidane from long range because I can definitely beat a Zidane at long range. I hope. But they're also shooting at my hippers, so I don't need to worry about them shooting at me. So yeah, all the enemies seem to be behind the island right now, so I don't need to worry that much about them. And I might as well just go around this island to try to go after the Zidane. And right now, all the cruisers are undetected, and it's just Zidane and Turpits. And it seems that Zidane is pushing in still, so yeah, that's good, because the closer they are, the better I can hit my shells. And as long as I don't let them get too close, I should be able to beat them. So yeah, I'm just running away and farming though at this point. When you're playing the Gascogne or French battleships for that matter, this will honestly be pretty common occurrence, at the higher tiers especially, because you can't stand up to like multiple battleships because your armor just can't hold up to that. So kiting away is honestly often the best idea. And yeah, I see a Xenia low health, so I just use my rack reload, but I think my team probably got them covered. But might as well fire one myself. Try to get the kill. And now Cleveland, I see Cleveland's the one being killed. Yeah, there goes the Xenia. So Cleveland's ahead of the pack now, so I think I can, since Turbits and Duca seem both like they're distracted, I think I can also get closer to Cleveland to see what happens. I think they're turning broadside, I'll wait a bit before they give me full broadside. And now I'll fire to try to maximize it. That dispersion is kind of bad though. Yeah, 5 shallots. Yeah, so now they're in secondary range, so I can shoot them with those and get some extra damage. And since it's only Cleveland, they're not even shooting at me actually, so I'm not really worried about being full broadside. And yeah, now they're dead. So next is the Duca, and same with the Cleveland, they're turning to give me, or they were turning to give my team broadside, so might as well fire them while they're angled, and that was an okay salvo. Some overthings though. And yeah, now they're in secondary range, so I get bit more damage, and luckily nobody has shot at me yet. Turbits hasn't noticed me. But now they're turning to, so I think they might. And yeah, I'm just trying to finish off Duca. Making us already, so this should finish them off. Yep. Honestly, that almost did not finish them off unless I got Citadel. And now I'm just gonna brawl with Turbits because 20 seconds left on rack reload. I should survive until that. So I should be able to dump my entire rack reload into Turbits. So turn off lock gun and let's brawl. And since I have teammates backing me up, I'm not too worried about losing this brawl. I need a Brooklyn over there, but I'm not really worried about it. It's a Brooklyn. It's a random Brooklyn. That's the most they can do. And yeah, Turbits is honestly dying like crazy because of me and my teammates. But I ran into all the fields, so I'm kind of taking a lot of damage now. But I'm just gonna wait until my good rack reload turns timing until like next ball. So yeah, I'm balling this guy. My autos are going off. My timing is going off. And now that we're at 12 seconds, I hit the rack reload. Well, it turns out my team is about to finish this guy. Yeah, my team just finished this guy off. So yeah, I don't even get the kill on the Turbits, but oh well. So now it's just the Brooklyn left. They're like on a sliver of health, but they're hiding on an island, so only I can shoot them. Or the DZP can bomb them, and the DZP gets them before my shells get there. So yeah, that's another game, Battlestar. And I think this shows how especially when you see that there's a fight you can't take, you should run away in the Gascogne and like reposition, let your teammates take some damage before you come back and do more, and like maybe brawl them or just get mid range. So you got Battlestar there, MVP, Big Cow. And you can see my main guns did most of the heavy lifting, but the secondaries were still there. If you can get close, they will rack up. And top of the team there, and the enemy team damage is kind of cooked, not gonna lie. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And overall for the Gascogne, I'd say the ship is kind of mid, I'm not gonna lie. It's not very good for the tier, like probably one of the worst battleships. But it kind of has some fun moments, like these ones where you can use your rapid reload and your secondaries to outbrawl some ships. But overall, if you're grinding this line, I just recommend stopping at the Alsace because I hear that one's like pretty good. I'm not there yet, but I hear that one's decent, while the Repub is kind of aged for 2026. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.